And welcome everybody, this is Like It's 1985. In today's review, I'll be taking a look at the Iron Man 2 movie series 3-pack called Armored Assault. As you can see here, you get 3 figures: Whiplash, Iron Man Mark V, and the Sea Assault drone. Now, supposedly this is a super value. Really, it's not really a super value, especially if you buy this at the retail price that I did. I bought it for roughly 19 bucks. So you figure, each figure is about $7. So if you were to buy these separately, you'd be paying roughly, $21. So give or take $1 or $2, that's all you're really saving with this super value pack. And they make a big deal of it on the side here. Super value. Not so much. On the side here, you got a picture of Whiplash and Iron Man, which is quite cool. And on the back, of course, you get a picture of the figures, what they can do. And here's another picture of the Sea Assault drone. Okay, so once you remove the outer packaging, you can see here that the figures themselves are actually packaged quite nicely. Instead of using ties to hold the figures in place during packaging, there actually are no ties. The plastic around the figures are molded in such a way that the figures hold in place pretty well in packaging. You got the Sea Assault drone that has its own little tray. And Iron Man and Whiplash are also in their separate plastic trays, you can see there. And once again, you got a nice backdrop here, which is pretty cool. Okay, so let's take a look at the Mark V Iron Man figure first. As you can see, he's silver and red, which I have to say is quite striking, and I do like it, even though the gold and red is a more iconic look for Iron Man. This is really nice as well. As far as articulation, it's got standard Iron Man 2 figure articulation, ball jointed head, ball hinged shoulders, swivel and a bend at the elbow, swivel at the wrist. It does come with an extra hand for the left hand, and I'll get into that in a second. Ab articulation, no waist articulation. You got ball jointed hips, and they're the type of Iron Man 2 figure hips where you can, I believe, rotate the ball around depending on whether you want the leg to go forward or to the side. On mine, they're extremely stiff, and I was unable to rotate the ball. So, as far as I know, they're the standard Iron Man 2 ball joints. But you also got a rotation at the hip, and a very nice double bend at the knee, and ball hinged ankles. Now, as far as the accessories that this figure comes with, as you can see here, is the extra hand for his left hand that interchanges. It holds the suitcase, and if you pull this piece down here, it reveals the inner workings of the actual suitcase, which is kind of nice. It's all silver, but it's quite detailed as far as the plastic molding is concerned. And of course, the 2 missiles do fire. The trigger is this blue triangle here, so we'll do a test fire here. So that's pretty cool. As you can see, in relation to the size of the figure itself, the suitcase is quite large, and I believe out of scale, but still, nonetheless, it's cool, and it probably had to be that way because of the missile gimmick. So there's Iron Man Mark V, the first in this 3-pack. So let's take a look at Whiplash. Now, unfortunately, the one fault of my particular Whiplash is the tattoo details in the shoulders. That is to say, there's no detail at all. They're just marks here, which is bad paint or sloppy paint applications. You can see maybe partially here at the ab area, there is a tattoo there which is much better defined. I'll give you a look quick here at the box, so you can see an idea of what the tattoos are supposed to look like. If you can see there on his right arm, you can see he's got looks like he's got the sickle and the hammer on his forearm, or not forearm, but his upper arm there. On mine, it's just all a big blotch of sloppy paint apps. But other than that, the figure is pretty nice. Now, granted, it is my fault that I should have looked closer and before I bought this particular set to look for the paint applications, but I didn't, but that's okay. The figure is cool overall. One of the things I really like about it is they have these soft, flexible conduit hoses, I guess you call them, that run from his arc reactor back to the rest of his suit there. Not really a suit, but more of his exoskeleton armor, I guess you call it. As you can see here, he's got two very nice whips, and they have an energy effect, as you can see here. As from what I can tell, watching other reviews, the original Whiplash figure came with kind of a solid gray plastic whip, which didn't look as good as this one does. But it's my understanding from watching a review that these are not as posable as the ones in the original Whiplash figure. But I think they look a hell of a lot better, so I would prefer these. So you can see, very nice. Of course, very nice detailing in his exoskeleton armor, and detailing in his the rest of his clothing here. Articulation is pretty standard again. Ball jointed head. And take the whips out here. You got a ball hinge shoulder, swivel and a bend at the elbow, rotation at the wrists, ab articulation. As you can see, the chest moves and so do the little hoses there, which is cool. As far as I can tell, he has ball hinged hips, swivel at the thigh. There actually are two points of articulation at the knee, although due to the clothing here, this is a kind of a stiff, sort of semi-soft plastic. Due to that, it hinders the movement of the leg articulation. And then, of course, you got a ball-hinged ankle. So here's a closer look at the head sculpt, and we'll look at the sloppy paint applications on the upper arms. As you can see, make out where my finger is right there. You can get a hint of a better applied tattoo. So that's really cool. Here's a look at his back. Now, on to the main reason I bought this kit. The main reason being as I couldn't wait for this guy to come out on the individual card. So I took the plunge and I ended up buying the 3-pack. Okay, so while Iron Man and Whiplash face off in the background there, let's take a look at the main attraction, for me at least, of this 3-pack. This is the Sea Assault Drone, which shares a lot of the common body characteristics with the Ground Assault Drone. And I'll bring him in right now. Obviously there's been modifications in terms of the weapons, but the body type is the same, so it shares the same articulation as the Ground Assault Drone, which I did review previously. So if you want to check that out, you're certainly welcome to do so. So, before we get started on the actual articulation of this guy, I do have to point out one thing that all other reviewers that I've watched have pointed out with this particular figure. It's these attachments up here, the missile racks on his shoulders. The thing with them is that they fall off easily, and not only do they fall off easily, the attachment point is very hard to find. So you got to do a lot of playing around in order to get these things attached. And even then, when they're actually kind of sitting and attached, they're prone still to falling out. So obviously they're going to hinder articulation as well. I'll go ahead and take these off because they're probably going to fall off anyways. You can see how they're molded like that, but there isn't really any definite point where you're supposed to attach them. That's ironic because these missile racks are the coolest part of the figure, but also the downfall for this figure, just the way that they engineered the attachments to the shoulders. So that's unfortunate. So articulation wise, well, let's take a close look at the figure first actually. You can see it's got the number there on the chest. It's got the US flag and the number here again on the upper thigh area. And you can see there's little arrows. It says danger actually if you take a look at that writing there, as well as on the back of his arm there. Whoops. And if you take a look at the back of the missile racks, they do have some details as well here. Not only writing, but nice silver paint applications at the tip of the, I guess some of these are thrusters or some kind of vents, I guess. Anyhow, Articulation wise, the head can rotate side to side. It's just on a ball joint, but as you can see, it's hindered by the collar guard here. So side to side, a little bit down. Ball hinge shoulders. You get a bend at the elbow, but there is no swivel joint. And below the elbow, there is no articulation. The piece below the elbow is cast as one solid piece, which is fine. It doesn't really bother me that much. You've got ab articulation here. Very nice. There is no waist articulation. You do have leg articulation. There, you can see the joint here. You can go out like this. And depending on how you rotated the ball joint at the hip, you can get the leg to go forward just a little bit, but you can see the gap. Oops. You can see the gap that would be. They can go a little bit forward, a little bit back, but you just have to rotate the ball joint around. One of my favorite parts of the this particular drone is the knee articulation, and as you articulate the knee, you can see some details of the kind of maybe like a piston and some paint applications with silver there, which is cool. I didn't notice this before, but actually here they have some more silver paint applications. Looks like that might be a couple pistons. Then you've got a ball hinged ankle. Okay, so for recommendations, as always, when you're buying a Hasbro painted action figure, please make sure you check the paint apps and the paint quality on your figures. Otherwise, you might be disappointed like me. Now, I can't blame Hasbro too much. Well, yes, I can blame them because they really should have better quality control on their paint applications of their figures. But as a consumer, I really had some responsibility in making sure that the figure was decent, which I didn't look at Whiplash too closely. I was really more focusing on the Sea Assault drone and the Iron Man Mark V. Which is not too bad. I mean, overall, this Whiplash is okay. The rest of the paint apps are good. It's just the upper forearm with the tattoos is bad in my case. But if you look close enough, you should be able to hopefully avoid that mistake. Now, as far as should you get this 3-pack set, I think most of you probably will already have an Iron Man figure, or 2, or 3, or 4. So really there you're not gaining much by buying this 3-pack, and then you may already have Whiplash 2 as well. So I got it because I couldn't wait for the Sea Assault drone to come out on the individual card. If I would have saved myself some money, obviously, because I would be just buying one figure instead of 3. But nonetheless, I mean, I only had one other Iron Man to Iron Man, so now I have a Mark V and a Mark VI. The Mark VI I got from the Toys R Us exclusive 4-pack, Fury of Combat. Check that review out if you would like. Link will be down below for that. Also, we'll probably do a video response for this video. Like I said about the drone, you can watch other reviews. I'll say pretty much the same thing. The missile racks are awesome looking, but they fall off very easily. So they could have engineered it a lot better. Like I said, there's a sweet spot to getting these things to stay on and stay on in a decent manner. Great design. I just wish they would have engineered this better. And in fact, hopefully, when this guy comes out on the individual card, maybe they'll have that engineering problem taken care of, and maybe you guys will luck out. And if that's the case, I'll pick up another one just to go along with this guy. So, yeah, this has been my review. This is the Target exclusive 3-pack. This is called the Armored Assault pack from the Iron Man 2 movie series. Thanks for watching.